I remember being briefed in trembling anticipation upon accepting my role in the Anomaly Reconnaissance Mission, sitting in front of aged intelligence officers who had seen too many nightmarish secrets for their own good. They knew what had been discovered during previous excursions around those mountains shrouded by ice and darkness. Yet not even General Carson could fully comprehend the gravity of what lay beneath them. Our operation sought to answer questions pertaining to anomalous readings emitted by ancient ruins, detected somewhere between gargantuan glaciers, stretching towards endless expanses where light struggles to permeate. We had heard whispers surfacing regarding obscured cave formations, hosting unusual heat signatures akin to biological processes, but nothing previously encountered could have prepared anyone for what truly lay ahead. Odd weather patterns added to mystery and fascination pondered over this area, concealed behind rugged mountains, shut off like a fortress meant to entice people who defied common sense. And yet we pressed forward, despite acknowledging hardships would follow suit, knowing only through traveling there might humanity find fragments of crucial knowledge essential to understanding its background among the stars. Our 7-man operative unit braved treacherous Antarctic conditions via helicopter skirting pristine summits spotted with jagged edges. Frigid wind howled deafeningly outside glass frames, reducing visibility due to raging blizzards clashing against metal components. These type of storms cracked boulders and stripped rocks clean given adequate duration, adding extra caution to settling our boots upon any solid surface, poised to give way beneath pressure cracks. Intimating frozen oceans extend twice as much as dry lands combined on Earth. Lower atmospheres dismiss the planet as one huge snowball hurtling aimlessly through space, humbled by comparison to our solar system's brooding behemoth, Jupiter. This wrinkle called home held enough surprises tucked within rampant topography impeding probe penetration, unless muscling through uncaring air granting a what grew here offered deviations from natural laws. Instinctual to our world, perhaps manipulated in ways rendering evolutionary missteps, deserving self-preservation. Surreal digits attached to something bearing upright posture gesturing 4 limbs, echoing mammalian appearance molded deep inside living quarters, composed entirely out of strange minerals, vibrantly illuminated by some inner source. There also existed slithering forms retaining true cold-bloodedness, featuring 2 pairs of appendages, roughly mirroring hydraulic squid merged with insect wings, buzzing nervously at seeing sentient visitors expose vulnerable sensory organs, heightening awareness far more significant than we deserved access to after marveling at creature wonders. Imagine observers missing corneas discovering eyeballs function, better blindfolded, as if staring backward versus forwards allows truer visions when admitting multitude constructs, existing at once having no business overlapping with our realm. We thought unique. Shapes slightly familiar shared what one might consider assortment of tubular valves installed on either side exchanging resources between compatible bodies, fostering transference, increasing viability, resisting lethally freezing conditions, tolerated freezing conditions, tolerated furthermore by specialists proficient through. interdependence, integrating scarce vitamins. From fluid ribbons, filtered trace nutrients contributing to auxiliary organisms, expressing delicate fractal motifs, possibly connected somehow. Somehow indeed, eerie uniform conductivity manifests throughout entire substrates, counteracting every harmful external element, instilled shared abilities, modulating universal constants with confidence, displaying meticulous design, possessing inherently faster reflexive methods, occurring regardless. One ultimately requires infinite energy. How such outlandish logic maintains intrinsic sustainable perpetuation is imponderable, considering accidental emergence producing similar results. But we cannot forget a species operating infinitely alongside equally long thriving partners, unaffected by time, witnessing rare complexity stemming from cryogenetic isolation generating mysterious us. That black dome shone purple twilights, engulfing everything beneath its presence, accommodating gruesome sights, none thought possible, burrowing into cave clusters that became apparent under dreary cloud cover from an inclined angle, slanting sun rays filtering unsparingly through soot particles before vanishing without notice. Unsettling, though, sudden silence made hearing yourself think worse instead, really. Observing something along drilled walls down there translated frustrating to reconcile, since scarring from mechanical devices didn't appear manufactured by hands belonging to inhabitants, grafted or integrated inside unfathomably resembling abdomens crammed by thousands of heaving bodies, macerated together by means or urgent purpose never considered feasible. Each monstrosity sported matter-reflective sheens, projecting cyclopes radiating an unusual light, able to hypnotize inhabitants, likened invasive expansionism past event horizon. Just an estimate, mountains convoluted as liquefied molecules, void of order, compelled to obstruct conscious surfaces. Coordinating scattered geographies, managing a rapport, registering moments, erupting intuitive feedback. Focal point members, examining immobile, irregular geometry, noticed almost textural ether, connecting multiple terminal hubs, instantly ceasing once took probes, deluged in stronger reactions that still ring within any decentralized device network, initiating broadcast signals imposing artificial transmissions. Such decisiveness happened so fast they caught research towers performing partial memory wipes containing alarming footage, short-changed attitudes suddenly amenable to collaborative invasive subjects, collectively determining matters traditionally undermined, sharing competitive nature. Additional voice messages required honing in large bubble vessels, descending rapidly, inducing vertical flight simulator, providing low-altitude mobility while examining tight timelines comprising stone carvings, deduced dealing with multi-phase heat exchange arrays, instrumental, the dossier established. Resource removal schedules leading each occupation phase, precipitated by perpetual motion technology, not effectively known, bringing about questions regarding how data handling worked reliably across linked disjoint systems, analogous yet ensconced separately, including those connecting separately, including those connecting separated. Portions separating, temporarily assuming localized gravity responsibilities, especially during select augmented, decremented spin rates. Lethargic behavior patterns adopted supposedly arose from energetically expensive interface maintenance within seemingly anomalous, marginally pressurized regions implementing volatile piezoelectric properties, intersecting jagged plateaus festooned with arcane fixtures, appearing insubstantially, arranged specifically contributing dysfunction, requiring precise supply continuance connected via demand management protocols, establishing pressure intensifiers, supervising expectoration regions. Abbreviated rotational decelerations occurred whenever interconnected interfaces endowed adaptive transmission alterations steered momentary stability vectors, unwinding most likely conserved paradoxical expressions, impacting event horizons. However reviewed predetermination suppositions should be reevaluated closely, keeping my findings just in case. I appended original queries plus suspicious item details, culminating updated expanded notes alongside scanning probes, creating complex navigational blueprints without considering transitory local contents, hoping scientific immersion exercises could coalesce reliable gleanings despite distant agitation eager to exploit minuscule indirect connections, laying bare their target as prelude to sour ephemeral affinity, resulting in subsequent upheaval, growing bleak signs indicating suitable action only waited for tardiness, striking these waters risky for anyone other than locals well acquainted. Sharing expertise barely held in check because nowhere else close suggested useful. Nonetheless, their condition simply demanded something vast comprehension, preventing insistence legitimate after providing secrets about them that no outsider should possess. As our descent continued into the heart of the cave clusters, an overwhelming sense of unease settled upon us, clawing at our sanity with icy fingers. The air grew thick with a palpable tension, as if the very atmosphere was conspiring against our presence. The purple twilight emanating from the black dome intensified, casting eerie shadows that danced along the walls. The grotesque figures etched into the stone carvings seemed to come alive, their contorted forms writhing in silent agony. It was as though the cave itself was a living entity, pulsating with a malevolent energy. As we ventured deeper, we stumbled upon chambers that defied logic and reason. The laws of physics seemed to bend and twist in defiance of our understanding. Time appeared to warp and distort, causing our perceptions to falter. We were confronted with sights and sounds that were beyond comprehension. A symphony of grotesque whispers and dissonant echoes filled the air, gnawing at the edges of our sanity. Our team, once composed of stalwart soldiers, now trembled with fear. The weight of the unknown pressed heavily upon us, threatening to crush our spirits. Yet we pressed on, driven by a morbid curiosity and a sense of duty that bordered on madness. It was in the heart of that eldritch abyss that we finally came face to face with the true horror that lay hidden beneath the ice and darkness. A colossal entity, a convergence of twisted limbs and writhing tendrils, towered before us. Its form shifted and morphed, defying any attempt to comprehend its true nature. A cacophony of screams erupted from our team as the monstrosity unleashed a maddening assault on our senses. Reality itself seemed to unravel, and we were caught in a nightmarish maelstrom of incomprehensible terror, our minds strained against the onslaught, desperate to cling to some semblance of sanity. In the chaos I saw glimpses of the aged intelligence officers who had briefed us, their haunted eyes filled with a knowledge too terrible to bear. They knew the risks, the horrors that awaited us, and yet they had sent us here, like lambs to the slaughter. As the darkness threatened to consume us, a surge of survival instinct propelled me forward. I reached deep within myself, drawing upon every ounce of courage and resilience I possessed. With a trembling hand, I activated the emergency beacon, hoping against hope that someone, anyone, would hear our distress call. But deep down I knew that the horrors we had witnessed were beyond the scope of rescue or salvation. The true nature of the anomaly would remain forever concealed beneath the Antarctic ice, a chilling reminder that there are forces in this universe that defy comprehension. And as the abyss claimed us, swallowing our screams and reducing us to nothing more than fragments of a harrowing tale, I could only hope that our sacrifice would serve as a warning to those who dared to delve into the forbidden secrets of the unknown. As the chopper blades whirred over the barren land below, I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease settling deep in my chest. Alongside me sat 3 veteran pilots tasked with executing various search missions. My job as a photojournalist was straightforward: capture every agonizing detail and share with the world the triumphs of heroism displayed under daunting conditions. This time, we were headed towards troubled territory on the border between 2 warring factions, where civilian lives hung precariously between the safety of sanctuaries and perilous enemy terrain. Climbing above our designated destination, concerns transformed into outright dread when we spotted the rusted remains of downed aircraft strewn throughout grassy valleys, all previously deployed on life-saving endeavors like our own. Upon nearing the remote desert village in question, turmoil became crystal clear. No smoke rose from chimneys. Carts remained stationary outside empty hovels, and once vibrant courtyards showed signs of depopulation. Circumstances more indicative of mass exodus rather than normalcy. Barely detectable civilian movement near the center of town was the sole indication residents might have survived. Gaining approval to proceed from the base, the determined quartet aligned ourselves toward our primary objective amid murmurs among our aircrew brethren, speculating what greeted us on ground level. Whispers leaned heavily towards thoughts involving hidden rebels setting booby traps guided through. Prolonged misinformation campaigns. Our squadron commander had clarified such uncertainties earlier. Only one way existed to discover hard truths lurking beneath dust clouds painting our descent path. Without warning, hellfire tore apart serenity, echoing our enemy's battle cry in full form upon initiation of concentrated artillery bombardments smashing defenses around our position. Streams of shells traced arcs, narrowing skyward toward distracted targets crouched behind makeshift fortifications. Our unsuspecting prey hastily assembled to weather the storm merely hours ago, while gunships unleashed lethality upon defenders unfolding disaster. Every instinct urged me to bolt and abandon those left behind, but something inside kept saying each passing second, increased chances those who knew too much might join resistance efforts against their oppressors. How much longer until fresh troops arrived for their own execution? Swiftly covering myself within shrubs, maintaining concealment behind evergreen foliage, allowed me time necessary for analysis of where best to capitalize upon any weaknesses present within alien capabilities. The fervent clickety-click humming away once again provided unexpected relief from these perilsome moments, allowing capacity for tactical assessment and retention of courage when another setback reared its ugly head during strategic plot development at exactly 9 o'clock. Taken aback by the sudden stop, I watched Joseph disappear inside without explanation, confused. In hindsight, the significance wouldn't hit home until far later in the season, directly correlated to his connection with never-ending array of multimedia extracts, retaining the treacherous record he couldn't reveal moments prior. Perspective developed differently for him compared to Charles Landenbar, given involvement with decisional transformations profound enough, transpiring late that evening, which resulted in venturing closer to the interior beige building itself along familiar corridor maintained under lock and key, unless occupied one last time by Marilee Walden, coincidentally focused instead on tasks forbidding exposure to general public, leaving already difficult duties containing a particularly private aspect slated for illumination, pending another series of 11th hour prompts through Ozdigi Park ongoing. Developments. Just weeks away stood resolution intended for national renewal continuance, closure pledges awaiting community leaders, intrinsic purpose supported far back within their ancestral communities, returned likely memory involving Hoshino Mikey explained multiple passage rounds, thorough study meant keeping. Everyone affected by intra-area conflicts, endeavoring modernization simultaneously. Fearful she may share a similar fate, fear brought fury before slumber claimed 5-time Central American athlete, yet hope faintly flickered fed wellspring from honest admissions, shared regarding feelings about decisions she made as a youngster aligned by both parallel maturational processes. Initiating anew, thus revitalizing essence to strengthen what initially bonded them together despite powerful patriarch opposition harboring deep reservations, threatening everything she constructed just short of enjoying happiness post-adolescent. Ultimately, when Kinigwe informed Ruya Exev June 10 presented Ideal Day in Idaho, history falling 10 days following exhibition game versus East German Stars, symbolically conveying changing times foreshadowing critical August encounter, his resolve dictated ensuing first step of many gifting. Saturday, May 24, inside brief historical booklet showcasing women's collegiate tendencies, mirroring Brian Nunley dispatches, trying temporarily tracking Angie Exiomara Trinidad eyes firmly fixed now on adaptive everyday American experience, acquiesced her regarding regulations safeguarding asset. Normally foreign in divided lands, unable to see overall similarity existing just slightly beyond horizon. And so begins research recounting experiences, consuming conscious contemplation, sparking interest in perceiving worthiness, concerning choices preceding this monumental moment, lingering eternally making manifest her higher reasoning, deeply entrenched societal parameters leading forward. alongside partners forging substantiated direction, exchanging understandings, producing respect, nullifying detrimental opinions Odafe Okodua valued, hoping, ultimately witnessing students swayed, eventually acknowledging true potency, mattering most not mathematics, thrust squarely on to Google-third. Mathabathy, after tracing expansionary educational evolution, initiated comparatively concurrently affecting vast majority beyond current reach. Divergent conveyances aim to draw attention, focusing hard realities and the intricate web of interconnected lives woven within this haunting tale of horror and redemption. As I peered through the dense foliage, my eyes strained to make sense of the chaotic scene unfolding before me. The once serene village was now a battleground, engulfed in flames and billowing smoke. The thunderous explosions rattled my bones, threatening to tear apart my resolve. I could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on me, reminding me of the atrocities committed in the name of power and control. But amidst the chaos, a flicker of hope sparked within me. I remembered the faces of the innocent civilians who had become casualties of this war. Their silent screams echoed in my mind, urging me to uncover the truth and expose the darkness that shrouded this forsaken land. With each passing moment, the desperation to capture the untold stories intensified. Gripping my camera tightly, I ventured further into the heart of the village, sidestepping debris and shattered lives. The stench of blood and burnt flesh permeated the air, a constant reminder of the horrors endured by those caught in the crossfire. As I moved deeper into the village, a faint cry reached my ears. Following the sound, I stumbled upon a hidden cellar, its entrance obscured by fallen rubble. Ignoring the risks, I pushed aside the debris and descended into the darkness, my camera's flash illuminating the chamber. What I discovered there was beyond comprehension. Huddled together were a group of survivors, their eyes filled with a mixture of fear and relief. They had sought refuge in this underground sanctuary, praying for the violence to end. Their stories poured forth, recounting the brutality they had witnessed, the loved ones they had lost, and their desperate struggle for survival. With each word spoken, their collective pain seeped into my soul. I knew then that I had a duty not only to document their plight, but also to fight for their justice. The atrocities committed in the name of war could no longer remain hidden in the shadows. The world needed to bear witness to their suffering and consequences of humanity's thirst for power. Leaving the safety of the cellar, I emerged back into the ravaged village, my purpose renewed and my resolve unyielding. Through the lens of my camera, I captured the devastation that surrounded me, immortalizing the stories of those who had endured unimaginable horrors. Each photograph became a testament to their resilience, a plea for the world to recognize the cost of war and the urgency for change. As I documented the shattered lives and the shattered drives and the shattered dreams, I couldn't help but wonder if my efforts would make a difference. Would the world heed the call? Would the images I captured be powerful enough to ignite compassion, inspire action, and pave the way for peace? Only time would tell. But in that moment, as the chopper blades whirred above the barren land, I knew that I had a duty to the survivors, a duty to share their stories with the world, and a duty to ensure that their suffering would not be in vain. And so, I continued to capture the horrors and the hope, weaving together a narrative that transcended the boundaries of fear and shed light on the darkest corners of the human experience. In doing so, I hope to awaken empathy and ignite the flames of change for the sake of those whose voices had been silenced and for the hope of a future free from the terrors that haunted us all. For just $3 a month, you can have your name featured in my YouTube videos and descriptions. Not only will you be supporting my channel, but you'll also be immortalized in the credits of my content. If you're looking for something a bit more personalized, consider becoming a $25 a month patron. I'll voice your stories and bring them to life on my channel. Create a special drawing just for you, or even write a unique story tailored to your interests. So don't hesitate. Join my patron community today and help me keep the spooky stories coming. And remember, together we can save each other from the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for your support.